Hello, everyone. These are the solutions for the practice quiz on the second quiz. So tier one is just getting at the properties involved with inverse functions. So that your domain on the function is x is greater than or equal to 2. The range on the inverse, you just simply invert the variables. So y would be greater than or equal to 2. The x-intercept is -2, 0, then the y-intercept would be 0, -2. Again, the inversion of the coordinates in the x and y variables. Tier 2, find f of g of 3. So we need to compute g of 3 first. That would be 6. And then we need to do f of 6. So that's going to be 6 squared, 36, minus 2, 34. Find f of g of x. So the entire g function is going to go into x in the f function. So this is going to involve the FOIL product. So x plus 3 will go in for x in the f function. So this is going to involve squaring x plus 3 and then subtracting 2. Okay, so x squared, do the FOIL product. And then 9 minus 2 is 7. Find g inverse of 2. So we need to do the inverse function and the g function, which means invert x and y and solve for y. So x minus 3 is the inverse function. And now we want to do g inverse of 2. So 2 is going to go in for x in the inverse function, giving -1. So f of g of 2 plus g of f of 0 with these tables. So you're going to go to 2 in the g function, that is 3. So we'll put that inside here, f of 3. And then 0 on the f function is 3, so that will be g of 3. So we're doing f of 3 plus g of 3. So f of 3 is -2, and g of 3 is 2. So that ends up being 0 when you compute. Okay, second page, take this graph and do this function composition. So f of 1 looks like -4. So then we want to do g of -4, which there is not a point on the graph. Find f of g of 6, so that is called undefined. Find f of g of 6, so g of 6 is 0. And so we are doing f of 0 on the f function, which brings us to -3 for that y value. Number 6, so you just want to look and see what the y values are, which they're nothing but horizontal lines. So out here at 3, between -5 and 3 for x, and then between -3 and 2, we're up at 1, and then between 2 and 5, we're back up at 5. Pretty easy problem to do. Those are called step functions. Pretty simple problem to do. Okay, number 7. So what you want to do here is look at, first of all, kind of the endpoints in the function to see what your domain pieces should be. So this is looking like -3 to 3. So you come up to the x, and we'll include the ends there. And then we're looking at 3 to 6 for the other piece. And from there, we want to figure out what the equation of each line should be. And so that's pretty simple. You just want to analyze the slope. So you're thinking like this, mx plus b. And then what the y-intercept should be. So it's looking like a slope of 1 with a y-intercept of -5 on the first one here. And you should check it out. You know, and when I start substituting points in at -3, does it give me -8? It does. And then up at 3, does it give me -2? It does. And then this one has a slope of -1, and it's looking like if you extrapolate that slope up, you would hit a y-intercept of 1. Remember that the b is the y-intercept. And that's taken out to 6 in the domain. Okay, 8 part A. It looks like we're computing an inverse on both of these, so I will do that first. So x equals 3y plus 4. So x minus 4 over 3 would be the inverse function for x. And then here, so now we're going to interchange and solve for y. So x plus 2 equals y squared, and then we're going to square root on both sides to get y by itself. And then the y greater than or equal to 0 is just the interchange of the letter there. That's all that is. So this is all they wanted on that. So f inverse of 7, that would be equal to 7 minus 4 over 3 over 3, which is 1. And then we want to do g of 1 in the parentheses. So 1 goes into the g function, which would give -1. And those are the solutions for the practice quiz for quiz 2.